I'm Sean McGlynn, and I'm the president of the Friends of Wakulla Springs and the chair of the Wakulla Springs Alliance. The Wakulla Springs Alliance was kind of Jim Stevenson's organization, and we were both NGOs. I wasn't really familiar with that term until I saw it up here, but non-governmental organizations. And we're kind of, the Friends of Wakulla Springs are a park support organization, part of the State Park Service, and they can't do some of the things the Wakulla Springs Alliance can do. So between the two of us, we can handle everything, and I might get kind of confused as to which organization is doing which, so I'm not going to mention, but this is all for Wakulla Springs. And it's a historic property, and it has a long history with industrials like Ed Ball, who had one of the biggest paper mills in the United States, that basically built this thing, it was his hunting lodge, and he gave it to the state. And it's a wonderful park, and you've heard all kinds of things about it. To try to help an organization like this, you really want to be positive. But as they said in the previous talk, that sometimes people get mad at you when you say good things. And it has to be all gloom and doom. But if you do the gloom and doom, you hope to get help and get it restored. And if you say it's good, you don't get the help. So it is a big dilemma in all these areas. Nobody's free of it. And I'm just really happy to be a help to something that I really love, enjoy, and have studied all my life. I'm basically a scientist. And even before Ed Ball, that's the neat thing about Wakulla Springs. And one of the things we're doing is we're really able to get grants. I was really surprised at how many we've gotten, and they go to both organizations. But we've got well over a couple of $100,000 grants to do archaeology in the park. And we're using the Research Institute. This is going to really help because we're pushing back the time scale at which people inhabited this area. It used to be that people thought there weren't anybody here before 10,000 years ago. We're finding things here 13,000 years old people. And right now they're working on a mastodon bone site that has human carvings on it. We found a human sacrifice site. We have the Seminole village of the prophet Francis lived in, who was executed by Andrew Jackson. And so there's all kinds of stuff here, the stories and things we haven't even found yet, and things we don't even know what they are. And as you can see, they did find 40 or 50 mastodon skeletons in the spring back in the 30s. They took one out. It's in the R.A. Gray Museum. That's it. The others are all down there. That's one of the reasons. This is ones we found a month ago in the spring when it cleared. It was in the run where the boats go down. It's still there. Smithsonian document. You can see the mastodon tusks. Pointers on it. Tusk and some bones from mastodon. We also are promoting history. We got a local author, and we funded this book, which came out last week. It's another history of Wakulla Springs by Miss Revels. It's her second book. The first book was A Watery Eden. This is Upon the Face of the Waters. We haven't sold one yet. They're $15, and it all goes to the Friends of Wakulla Springs. But that's another way to promote the springs and get the word out and get people interested in coming. And we're trying to do it all. We've changed the signage at the springs. We've had them redesigned. This one's quite popular for photographs now, and it's brand new. Gwen mentioned the dive tower, where she dove as a child, and she did her work day with us on Wakulla Springs. It was fantastic. And we got so much press coverage and pictures of paper, and the next springs were crowded with people coming to and visiting after that. But this is really an iconic place. In the book, you'll see where Johnny Weissmuller, that was 3 stories when it was built by the Army as a training center, I think, and when they did the camps there. And he put a 3-story extension on top of that. It was 6 stories high for his diving. But I'd never seen that before. It's in this book. The swimming is really popular in the springs, and that's what people come for. And whether it's dark or clear, it's still a wonderful swim. The dark water people think is dirty, but it's actually cleaner. And it comes out of the swamps in the National Forest. And it's stained dark brown by the leaves of cypress trees. It's like a sun tea. It doesn't have the tea flavor. Maybe if you're really sensitive to it, but it's cypress tea. this is clear. And the diving is one of the things that, in the top left corner, that could be very popular in the park, that the state has wanted to have people come dive. We couldn't really allow that in the park. That would be impossible. The springs are about 110 feet deep. That's way past the recreational dive limit. More people die diving there than live. It's very dangerous. We had a Nobel laureate die on a National Geographic dive when he forgot to turn his rebreather on and just passed out slowly. So it's very dangerous. Then too, the park rangers are not allowed to go down below the recreational dive limit through the insurance the Park Service has. So they could never even go check the mastodon bones to see if they were still there, or even oversee the diving. So that's one thing we're not doing. We have refurbished the glass bottom boats. We spent $35,000 rebuilding the one to run when the water was all dark, and this summer it got light again, and we actually ran it. We never thought we'd actually see it run. We were thinking they'd cruises in it with dinners, but we have been running it. And that's another thing that these service organizations did. And that's another thing the state wanted to privatize, was the boat service, but they didn't, luckily. And that's one of the major, the wildlife festivals, another thing. We put on festivals, and we have picnics, and we have events, and these things really are very good, and I recommend coming to them. And the wildlife is really, there's a lot of it there, even though it's not what it used to be. And tourists from Europe, now with the terrorists doing all this stuff, and they're not able to go to the beaches in Turkey and the Middle East and Africa, and we're finding a huge influx of foreigners coming who never knew how it used to look, and they think it's just unbelievable the way it is now. We go to parades and have a lot of publicity. We have costumes, try to have the monster. And speaking of the monsters, you can see the creature features. We have classic films that were filmed there. You can't film now. The water's not clear enough. Nobody ever tried to film an underwater movie there now. But and we have the algae too. So the monster is still there. And we have meetings once a month for both groups, and that's Jim Stevenson. He's our fearless leader. And Madeline Carr is the former president of the Friends. She's the one that edited this book. She's an art historian who wrote another book on the murals in the lodge, which were painted by German immigrants. We don't know their name. But there's a lot of things going on here, and a lot of things we're trying to promote and tell. The water is the basic source of it all, but there's so much more because the water's there. And people have inhabited this site for 13,000 years, continuously, and left a record. And we're just the newest, latest ones, and I hope we're not the last. Thank you very much.